Okay, so here I'd like to review the blood vessels with you on our torso model. So I've left the lungs in place. I'm going to go ahead and take them out now so that you can see the heart and the vessels that lead to the lungs. So on the heart, this is the pulmonary trunk. And the pulmonary trunk will divide into the right and left pulmonary arteries to deliver deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So this right here would be the right pulmonary artery, and it is blue because it's carrying deoxygenated blood. These right here would be the right pulmonary veins, and they're red. It's kind of unusual for a vein to be red, but these are the pulmonary veins. So they are oxygenated, and they're carrying blood back to the heart. They're actually going to open into the right atrium. So, can you see the heart? So you've got these two right pulmonary veins entering and the two left pulmonary veins. All four of those are going to bring oxygenated blood into the right atrium. Okay, so let's do the aorta and its branches, and then we'll do the vena cava. So this is the ascending aorta, and it's going to have branches coming off the top. It has 3 branches coming off the top. The branch on the right-hand side is the brachiocephalic artery, which will branch into the right common carotid artery here, and then the right subclavian artery that you don't see in this model. So this, again, is the right common carotid artery. This is the left common carotid artery. It extends up into the neck here. And then the right subclavian artery is right there, if you can see it on the model. Okay, so we'll finish the subclavian with the axillary and brachial on the model of the arm in just a moment. Let's go ahead and do the neck vessels. This is the inferior jugular vein, as well as this one. So for whatever reason, they don't put the external jugular veins on these models. So all you see here is the left internal jugular. It's pairing up here with the left subclavian vein. And then those are going to merge to form the brachiocephalic veins. So that's what these are. This is the left brachiocephalic vein. This is the right brachiocephalic vein. So again, here you have the right internal jugular vein. You have the right subclavian vein. They come together to form this right brachiocephalic vein. Both the right and left brachiocephalic veins will merge to form the superior vena cava, which is going to be bringing deoxygenated blood into the right atrium. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the branches as we go down to the abdominal cavity. So here's that aorta. This is the descending aorta. You can also refer to this as the thoracic aorta because we're in the thoracic cavity. It passes down through an opening here in this diaphragm and continues down into the abdominal cavity. So this is the abdominal aorta here. So let me remove the diaphragm if I can. No, I can't, so it's going to stay. So at any rate, let me go through these branches with you. So this is the abdominal aorta. The very first branch underneath this diaphragm, that right there is the celiac trunk or celiac artery. It's the first branch off the abdominal aorta beneath the diaphragm. The celiac trunk will deliver blood ultimately to the liver and the stomach and the spleen because it does branch into the hepatic and the gastric and the splenic arteries. The next branch that you see right there, that is the superior mesenteric artery. The superior mesenteric artery delivers blood primarily to the small intestine. As we work down, then we see these 2 small branches here, and we have the 2 branches here. So the branches just beneath the superior mesenteric artery right here that go into the kidneys, those are the renal arteries. So this would be the right renal artery, and this one would be the left renal artery, carrying oxygenated blood to the kidneys. Beneath that, these smaller vessels, these are the right and left gonadal arteries. They are going to carry blood down to the gonads. So either the ovaries, if this is female, or testes, if it's male. So these are the right and left gonadal arteries. The last branch off the front of the abdominal aorta here is the inferior mesenteric artery. The inferior mesenteric artery carries oxygenated blood to primarily the large intestine and the rectum. Okay, then when we get down to the bottom of the aorta, these two main branches that come off the base of the descending aorta are the common iliac arteries. So this is the right common iliac artery, this is the left common iliac artery. You can see here, that's the top of the coxal bone, so this is the ilium, hence this is called common iliac. But then as it moves down, it's going to branch. And I want you to see inside here, can you see that? That little branch right there coming, going deep down into the pelvic cavity, this is the internal. So we had the common iliac artery, this is the internal iliac artery, which makes this one the external iliac artery. And then when it gets down into the leg, it's going to branch into the femoral and deep femoral, and we will continue that on the leg model in a moment. So let's go ahead and get the veins that we see. Here, this is the inferior vena cava. The inferior vena cava has branches that come off to the kidneys. So these would be the renal veins, right renal vein, left renal vein, bringing deoxygenated blood from the kidneys into the inferior vena cava to be carried up to the right atrium of the heart. Then the other vessels you see, this one right here, it's really kind of skinny, and this one right here, these are the gonadal veins. So the left gonadal vein is bringing deoxygenated blood from either the ovaries or testes into the left renal vein, and the blood will then move into the inferior vena cava and back to the heart. The right gonadal vein patches right directly into this inferior vena cava. So deoxygenated blood from the gonads will carry through, from the right gonad will be carried through this right gonadal vein and into the inferior vena cava. Now, we have the same kind of thing going on here at the base of the inferior vena cava. You have the common iliac veins, and the common iliac veins will also branch into an internal, oh, let me move that sticker so you can see it there. Can you see that? All right, so this is the internal iliac vein. This is the external iliac vein. So the external and internal iliac veins will merge to form the common iliac vein. So we will look more closely at those vessels on the leg model.